This is episode 2 of the tutorial to drifting series. So, of course, since I said this is episode 2, if you haven't watched the first episode, I suggest you go and check it out so you're not jumping ahead of the whole process. So we're going to go ahead and jump in right where we left off. So you guys worked on the 240SX, of course you did, your entries, donuts, transitioning, and all of that fun stuff. So the second part is going to be very similar to that first one. Instead of the 240SX, we're going to go ahead and get in the S13. This tune is already up for you guys. I can go ahead and show you what it looks like, so if you're willing to get it yourselves, I suggest you do, so you're not using one of your own tunes that might not be perfect, and you might not be able to do exactly what you see me do. So of course here it is. You can put in Chase Man or just Learn to Drift. It should pop up either way. And there's the description if you need that. It is literally ESDA spec. ESDA is a drift competition. Now I know a lot of you guys checking out the channel will not know me, but I am actually a pretty good drifter if I do say so myself, I guess. But I mean, you can ask any of my supporters or friends that I drift with. I mean, I'm not bad. I gotta say that. So if you do want to learn something today, I suggest you watch all the way through the video, and I'd suggest not skipping over for some areas, but of course if you already know what I'm talking about, feel free to go ahead and skip around and find exactly what you need. And for you guys coming straight from my first episode, if you want to, you can work on the same exact things I told you and go ahead and just do some donuts and then maybe do a few transitions to get used to the car and how it feels. This tune is better than the first one. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in that episode that I purposely did not make the other one very good, just so that you're getting used to something that's not right. Then you gotta go to this car, which is a little bit better, and then once you're used to this thing, I'm gonna go ahead, I'll probably use my Z32 tune, and that is a much better tune that you guys can use. And once you're used to that, then you're set. If you can get some good lines on my Z32 or 300ZX, whatever you want to call it, then you're going to be just fine. I can tell you that for sure, but I might as well just run through the rest of the track so you guys know exactly what it looks like. And then after that, you can try and hold out this huge corner. It's a little bit tough, but I'll keep giving you guys tips along the way, since hopefully, like I've been saying, you guys have watched the first episode and you can just jump straight into this. I also go over some of the things I've already said, so of course we're going to pause it right here, and as you can see, I'll zoom in, and there is one little tiny microphone thingy right there, alright? So that is where you want to be already engaging the handbrake, and you're going to be turning into the corner and counter steering just like always. I entered a little bit slow though because I broke on accident, but you get the point. So of course you can get some angle if you just go full throttle if you want to, since you have more space and room to mess around in this thing. But I suggest keeping around about this much, maybe cutting it down a little bit. Remember on your transitions, right when you feel the car going the other direction, immediately counter steer the other way, and it'll get you a really smooth line, especially in this car since it's tuned much better than the other one. Should be a lot easier for a lot of the things I taught you in the last episode. Here we go again. I'm going to enter 4th gear and then drop down to 3rd just so I have that little bit of extra speed. Remember to counter steer, don't go completely on the throttle, especially for transitions, because that can mess you up a lot if you do that. Like, please don't, like, especially for this car, I didn't tune it for that. Like, maybe around here you can, of course, but it'll get out of hand if you just keep full throttle through every transition. So, of course, we're going to do our Scandinavian flick in 4th gear and drop back down to 3rd for some extra speed. Make sure we're counter steering, but still inputting into the corner. We're going to let off a little bit for our transition, so it's not too much. Go ahead and let off a little bit more. Try and hold it out a little bit wider. There we go. And letting off the throttle through the bumpy section. We're going to let off a little bit on each transition. Go back into 4th gear to make sure we hold all of this out. Get a little bit wider. I didn't get as wide as I wanted to, but it's alright. We're going to hit 5th gear. Let's go and get 6th just for the fun of it. And there we go, all the way around. Alright, so now of course you guys can see everything I'm doing. I'm dropping to 3rd again. Alright, we ran a little bit wide, but that's okay. I should have held it out a little bit better than that though. Of course we're going to use, I started using my handbrake on my transitions a little bit. It seemed to kind of calm the car down a little, though I know it slows me down for ESDA stuff. It kind of helped out in some situations. I wouldn't suggest copying that, but if you want to, of course you can. If you see me doing that a lot when I transition, but I don't know. It's really not needed, and it's probably going to be a bad habit soon. I guess the biggest tip I have for you guys with this car, of course, going from a completely, almost bone stock 240. I don't even remember what it had. It might have, I know it's not bone stock, but It was like Turbo I want to say, something like that. And then going to this for your transitions, I'm sure that's probably going to be one of the biggest things you guys aren't going to be used to, going from that thing to this. Basically, this car is built to be smooth, so of course you can go ahead, I'll do it again right here, get some more angle, and it will not want to move much. Like, as you can see, I'm not twitching all over the place. Like the 240, the front end would be going like this everywhere. No matter how much angle you had, it would always be doing that. So of course, because it's built to be a little bit more smooth, I did sacrifice, of course, like super quick transitions, which is alright for sure. You can actually get some quicker transitions if you hold on the throttle, but to get used to it, I suggest, of course, letting off the throttle like I have been saying this whole time, and still counter steer once you feel it snap, but you can wait a little bit longer than the 240SX since it will want to hold a little bit more. So of course, instead of counter steering immediately, I can wait a second and then go, wait a second, then go. And then it kind of makes it a little bit smoother and a little bit faster, as well as making it look a little bit cooler. And I guess for holding angle, I mean, all I gotta say, I know for a newcomer, a lot of the time I see them just, like, I'll do it right here. I'll just go full throttle, a lot of, like, almost all the way through the track. And it makes you run way too wide around all of these corners. So seriously, like, I'm still just trying to hold a lot on the throttle. See, now I'm gonna get understeer and I'm off the track. Do not hold the throttle too much. Like, that is one of the biggest things I see all of the time when I'm trying to teach somebody to drift. They will hold the throttle way too much instead of letting off the gas. Like, you guys have seen me when I do it. I'm not, like, I'll zoom in on the, what's it called, throttle right now. And when I do it, I'm like this most of the time, or going maybe halfway a little bit. So here we are again. I'll go ahead and run through. We're fourth gear, get a little bit of movement in fourth. So I'm going to go all the way full throttle here, and then I'm going to start letting off once I come to my transition. There we go. And we're going to modulate the throttle a little bit. I got to slow down more through the bumpier section, or else we'll spin out. There we go. Transition. And let's hit fourth now, get some good angle. All right, we held out pretty good. That's all right. I'm going to go fifth gear. And we are back around. So as you can see, if you really want to know exactly how I'm doing my runs, I mean, you have my tune. My paint might even be up as well. I think I might have secretly did that without telling anybody. If not, I'll probably upload it after this video. But if you need anything, like I said, or I don't even know if I said it yet, but just message me or drop a comment, like anything. Discord channel is in the description. Like, you can reach me and I will talk to you guys anywhere. If you really need any help or anything at all, I will be there. Don't be afraid at all, because of course when drifting there's not really a stupid question to anything, because I've had some stupid questions about stuff as well, and even tuning. Tuning I might do as well in a future episode, but I'm not too sure since it'll get a little bit complicated. There will be well, I know for sure there will at least be one more episode of this series. The first video is seriously going to get about everything out of the way, and then the second one is really just working on what I taught you on the first. So if you haven't seen the first one, once again, I suggest you check it out. And I mean, next, the third video, it's going to be hopping into one of my actual, like, extremely similar to my comp cars. So getting into that will be much different from anything you guys have ever driven by me. I'm sure a few of you guys that watch the channel regularly, I'm sure you guys have already tested out the car yourselves, but that's what we're going to be jumping into next, is that Z32, and it's a pretty good tune. So I guess this will be my final goodbye. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out, and I will see you in the next one.